Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday, it's Jennifer Massery. So I just want to do this little video because I thought it was important to get this awareness out. So I had taken my horse out, Tink, on Monday on a trail ride, and we've been on trail rides on our own. And what happened is I took him on the trail ride, and we had to cross a creek, and we walked down to the creek, and he started to acting up. Sometimes he does act up by the creeks, and he just didn't want to cross. And I was trying to engage him to cross, and there were a lot of distractions going on. There were other horses crossing. There was somebody throwing rocks, because there can be people there throwing rocks in that area. So he just wasn't happy at all what was happening. So he stopped. He was really giving me a hard time crossing. So long story short is I get him across. I have some carrots in my pocket. He knows that. I get him across with another horse, and then we get across, and then we meet 3 other horses over there who are actually leaving the creek out of the park. And he started to flip out because he wasn't part of the herd, and he wanted to be part of the herd versus being on his own. So right then and there, he started to really act up, shake his head, start to do like a little jumping around. And for safety reasons, I was like, today's not a good day. He's really acting up. Let me just take him back to the barn. So I took him back to the barn. I took him in the ring, and we did a little bit of walk, chalk, canter, about like 10, 15, 20 minutes to kind of teach him that relief would be, out on the trail. Stop doing that. Stop. You're being rude. Stop. So I know I just fed him, and I shouldn't have just fed him. And that's why he's starting to try and push me over. But so I read into him, and I'm like, what's going on? I said to him, why are you acting like this? We've been on trail before by ourselves. It was great. Like, what are you acting like this for? And right in my head, I get this grumpy old man. Stop. And he's like, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, what are you not doing? What is the problem? What is going on here? Like, why are you so angry? And he's like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, but what? Well, what are you so angry about? He's like, I'm not going out on trails by myself. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm not doing trails. I would just rather do all this ring work. I'm like, really? I'm like, are you kidding me? We just moved here because you told me that you're a trail horse. This is what you would like to do. You don't want to do the ring work. He's like, no, I don't want to do trails anymore. It's way too much work for me. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? He's like, I'm done. I'm 24 years old. I've been working all my life. I've been ridden hard. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay. And I really had to step back and like sit here and like, just acknowledge where I was at. And like my ego stepped in. My ego's like, are you kidding me? We just moved here, and he doesn't want to do this? What will we do with this? Let's hire a trainer. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, at least he's being honest with me, what he wants to do. So I said, okay, we'll make a compromise. And I talked to him. I said, it's okay if like possibly we do like, stop. You're being rude. Back up. Stop. So I said to him, is it okay if we like ride 2 days in the rain, and then maybe like once a week we'll go out with a bunch of horses, and like, we'll be in a group out on the trail. And he was okay with that. So I just found it interesting that, I've done readings for other people before in situations where their horses also, were not happy with their situation. They wanted to be doing something else, or they didn't want to necessarily be jumping, or whatever the case it is. And, here I am with my horse. Stop. Back up. Back up. Stop being in my space. And here I am with my horse, and he, is not looking to sit here and to do what I want him to do. He is not looking to be that type of horse that's going to go out in the trails because it's too much work. And honestly, I don't know a heck of a lot about his past because I only know how much was told to me. And from what he tells me, I have no more. So stop. Stop. I have no more. He tells me he was ridden very hard at a young age. And he just makes me feel like, he was leased by many people, and you know, he was a reining horse to begin with, is what I was told, and his tail was docked. But he's a reining horse to begin with, and so, you know, he did a lot of sliding stops, and you know, but that was not the work for him because he just wasn't interested in that type of work. So obviously that didn't work out for him. So that's why, you know, it worked out for him to be, you know, a trail horse, or, you know, lessons or whatever, you know, leased out to different people, because that was just, you know, better for him when it came to jobs, you know, being in the ring or trails. So he has decided now that, you know, that's not what he wants to do. So I'm compromising with him. And at the end of the day, I'm realizing that it just doesn't have to be one way, and I'm just letting it go. But I just wanted to show her, like, bring this conversation up so you can see that even though I am the animal communicator, even though I do have my own pets, I do have my own issues. And there are times where, like, I experience, I gotta say, like, times where I have to check in with them, find out what's going on, figure out what is going on in their head, figure out how we can troubleshoot this problem. Because I could just see, like, let's say if it wasn't me, it was somebody else taking him out on trails, and then, like, he would get to the point where sometimes, you know, either they're going to do it because they're afraid, or they're just going to do it because they have to, or you're just going to have a horse that's just going to become totally, I want to say, like, acting up because it doesn't want to do that job. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and have a great day, guys.